Yeah, I think we are live now.
Yeah.
Yes. Good afternoon, Yoruba people all over the world. This is Sunday, the 21st of April, 2024. And we have our platform, the Roundtable, which is
Yep.
a new platform for the Yoruba people meant to galvanize, to bring together Yoruba people all around the globe, regardless
Yep.
of our status. And so we have a mission statement, and I'm going to quickly read out the mission statement, and then we can. I have a guest here, but after reading out the mission statement, I'm going to introduce my guest. Um, Quickly, the mission statement states to awaken all Yorubas in the homeland and in the diaspora, regardless of age, social status, gender, and religious affiliation, on the struggle for self determination and social emancipation through robust mass education, information, and conscientization, as well as to promote Yoruba culture and heritage, which is second to none in the world. So that is our mission statement. And let me also quickly uh, state that this platform uh, is not meant for fracas. It is meant to bring together Yoruba people all around the globe, regardless of status, regardless of age, and what have you. Um, so my name, as we can see, is Omoba. And today, which is our first episode, our debuting, I have in the studio with me uh, a comrade who has been in the forefront of the struggle for Yoruba liberation for decades. Uh, his name his name
Yep.
is Comrade Kulu Tempa. He's going to do a little more introduction of
Temper.
himself. Uh, Tempa, yes, he's going to do a little more introduction of himself in a short while. Um, of course, we still
Okay.
expect one or two other uh, guests on the program today. Hopefully, the Nigerian network will allow them coming. And so today, like I said, we are going to be looking at right to self-determination. Right to self-determination. Um, uh, like I said, we have our guest here who is vast and has a lot of knowledge in this regard. Is going to be, uh, you know, talking to us uh, on the right to self-determination. And I am going to start this way. Okay, I want you to, give a little more introduction of yourself before I start with my question.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Please
Uh,
go ahead.
Kulu Temper, Comrade Kulu Temper has been in the struggle for more than 45 years.
Hmm.
Okay. And uh, the band students was renamed NANS, National Association of Nigerian Students. One of the first struggle of NANS was the reversal of what General Obasanjo wanted to turn polytechnics to, just as technicians. So HND was turned to by Obasanjo to Nigerian National Diploma instead of higher national diploma. So in a short, we we then and the young nuns we went to the National Assembly in 1980. Okay, and we stormed the National Assembly, and the National Assembly agreed to pass a law to return the program of HND. NND was for 4 years straight then, okay, no break, but uh, some industrial attachment in between the 4 years for which it was programmed. But the National Assembly changed it back to HND. But those who like us, okay, who are uh, intakes, so we were to continue for the 4 years unless one decides to break. Okay, so that was in 1980. So it was that 1980 that one of our leaders then became, that's late comrade Akele became the secretary of NANS, National Association of Nigerian Students. So the struggle continued, okay, and then it was won, and the National Assembly changed it back from NND, Nigerian National Diploma, to HND, and a break of 2 years after, I mean, the break of 2 year OND and 1 year uh, industrial attachment, then before they are taken back for HND 3 years. Then uh, that was after we stopped the National Assembly. Then by that 1980, the UPN won the West. We call them Lubo states. That's Lagos, uh, Ondo, Ondo,
Uh,
Oyo, Bender.
comrade, comrade,
That
if you
time. Yep.
sorry to cut you short, if you don't mind, um,
Yeah.
can we just quickly, fast track? Are we, as you are
Okay. Okay.
talking,
Okay.
comrade Wale Balogun came into the studio, and
Okay. 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 So,
yeah. So if you can just
uh,
quickly fast track and then.
okay. Uh, so we that were integrated into Workers Vanguard, we are trained as revolutionary Marxists. Okay, between that 1979 and 1982. Okay, So, and since that time, the sky was the limit until the military struck in 1983. And in 1984, when Larry Arugunade became president of NAMS, uh, we had already gone into Federal University of Technology, Akure. I became the chairman of the Judicial Council and somebody who called the Congress to support the NANS boycott of 1984 when Buhari Idiagbon came. So since that time, the sky is the limit in terms of fighting for human rights, fighting for student unions, and so on. And then I became the head of a trade union under late Comrade Akele. I became the head of the Lagos State Council as a full timer. Okay. And then uh, we formed the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights. Okay. And since that time, we've been studying things along revolutionary lines as Marxists. Okay. And at the end of the day, okay, we learned so much about the national question and the right to self-determination, which Lenin popularized and made part of the constitution of the Soviet Union, okay, which enabled them to be victorious in the revolution of 1917. So that is about us and uh, myself. So we have not looked back since then on the national question and the right to self-determination, which is a concomitant right that all Marxist Leninists, that is, followers of Lenin, followers of Karl Marx, followers of Engels, who as far back as 1840 called for the right to self-determination of Poland from uh, the from Russia Empire. So
Okay.
that is a short introduction.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Like I said, we have uh Comrade Wale
Comrade Wale
Balogun
Balogun.
in the studio as well. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little introduction of him, and then he can quickly, do an introduction of himself as well. I have known Comrade Balogun for over 2 decades now, and I,
Yep.
I, I am, I make bold to say that he has been a consistent revolutionary fighter, someone who believes
Yep.
so much in self-determination. We have worked
Yep.
together since the late 90s and, of course, up till now. Comrade, can you quickly do a rundown of your background as a believer, in self-determination? And then we take it up from there.
Well, it's my pleasure being here. My name is Wale Balogun. I started the journey in activism in 1989 when I joined one pressure group on campus at Benin, then. That is where when I started my something. Going from there, I became a student of University of Ilorin. I was the father or founder of student in the library rights movement before I pitched tent current affairs, friendship and cultural association at University of So it's called the May 31st movement. It was at that level that we were involved in many things. There was 1995. I contested to the non-secretary to become NAN's president. Unfortunately, we lost the vote by two because the person that eventually won that election, Baba Kasala from Unity, was sponsored.
Comrade Kulu, can you please mute yourself where if you are not talking, because there seems to be some noise coming from
Okay.
the background. Yeah, thank you, sir. You can go on, comrade.
So that is we lost that in election. It doesn't deter us. I was part of the movement that later became the National Conscience Party. I joined it when it started as National Conscience. At the time, I was the secretary of the Joint Campus Committee in Kwara State. That is how we started this something. And one can boldly say that we are the four heroes of the June 12 struggle because I led the first demonstration against the criminal annulment of the June 12 mandate won by the Chief MKO Abiola. That's how we became an affiliate of the campaign for democracy, and organization that I later rose to become the National Assistant General Secretary, and later a member of I'm a founding member of United Action for Democracy (VAD), where I rose to become the General Secretary between 2009 2011. Before that, I was the chairman, mobilization and action committee of the UAD. We were the one that took the fight to Adebibu Arishekola in Ibadan in 1998. In fact, we were the one that led the protest march that led to the declaration of and subsequent arrest of the likes of Bola Ige, late Alayonde, and a one-time governor, Lama Additional. It was at the level of the city that people were talking to us to be about the Yoruba determination group. Then we were not convinced about our involvement. Not until after I was detained with a colleague of mine, now late, Olawale Salami. So it was after the death of Abacha that we were released. A Ghanaian Adams, who was one of those people that I led out of the city, now invited me to one of their programs at Mushin, where I addressed them. I addressed members of the Yoruba People's Congress. I later rose to become the coordinator. I was the third coordinator, even though I was the symbol of that structure at Lagos mainland. I later rose to become the chairman of the think tank committee of the Odua People's Congress. And in fact, I was one that declared a Ghanaian dance as the national coordinator of the OPC, March 1st, 1999. That was the period the Congress was functionalizing into two. By and large, because of the crisis that led to what originally led to the conflict between the first same group and the Ghanaian Dams group, which we are part of it, equally crop up under the Ghanaian Dams. And that is why we parted ways with them, because they were derailing from the original goal of the organization. So we now found the Yoruba Revolutionary Movement, UREM, on Sunday, November 21st, 1999. Coincidentally, Chief Dupe Onitiri Abiola was physically present when we found UREM on November 21st, 1999 at Ebute Meta East Simpson Street. So that has been the something. We have many feathers to our something, but at least that is one or two things that I can mention. I was part of the pro democracy, human rights, and the self determination groups. We were convinced that the struggle for self determination and social emancipation of them is an inalienable right of the Yorubas to fight and struggle for their sovereignty. In as much
I,
as the next
co-
recognize
co- Comrade, I think we are jumping the gun. I was just going to come to that.
okay.
I was still, yes, yeah. Thank you so much for that memory lane, going down memory lane. Um, I also have my story to tell. I remember, when I was introduced to yourself and to the group, and I came to Ebutemeta. I met yourself and my late brother, your comrade, Wale Salami, of blessed memory. I remember vividly I was doing my master's in Unilag then, I think 1997 or 8. And I remember that what you were, clamoring for was save Nigeria. And I remember telling you that we cannot save Nigeria. Save your land, the Yoruba land. And then you said, oh, some people have been, approaching you to join the OPC then. I said, well, I think should be the way to go. And we got into it, and everything is now history. Now, 4 decades going, 3 decades going, can we say that we have really made much progress in terms of, you know, self-determination? Can we really say that we have made, appreciable progress in terms of, conscientizing the people? I mean, educating the people and making the people see the reason, the essence of self-determination. Have we really made any meaningful progress? I would push that to, I'm going to come back to you, Comrade Wale Balogun, but let me push that first to Comrade Kulu. Hello, Comrade.
You see, there is a popular mantra that old habit die rather hard.
Okay.
In terms of creating awareness, we have created enough awareness. People are aware, our people knew that there is a serious and genuine agitation for the sovereign state of the Yoruba. But in terms of, if we look at the prospects and challenges that we have faced, I want to believe that we have faced a lot of serious setback as at today, because we frittered away the achievements of the past due to some internal contradictions at the level of the movement, starting from the crisis in OPC, and in fact, resolving that led to the emergence of coalition of Odua self-determination groups. Unfortunately, what has been the fundamental problem that we are facing is the romance with the individual class. They infiltrated our rank and files. And anytime that we tried to advance our cause, they created a lot of problem to divide our ranks. And lately, you see Dilano Omodua, the World Yoruba Congress and whatever, they came on board and they renewed the agitation. for our self-determination. Some of us who disagree with their method in terms of being registered as an athlete organization of Nano, we still know and the need, we knew of the need to be part of that movement. We were playing our own role without consciously registering as members of the organization. But in terms of consciousness on the part of our people, the majority of our people still have consciousness, false consciousness, in the part that they have an hopeless hope in the Nigerian state as presently constituted. It's unfortunate that presently too, that most of our people believe that in as much as we have a Yoruba at the end of our prayers, in the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that the challenges, the problems, the myriad of problems that Yoruba were facing in Nigeria could be resolved. And I wonder if such could not be resolved after 8 years, what would be the fate of the Yorubas? We have tried, but our best has not been the best for the Yoruba people. So it has been a question of one step forward, not 2 steps backward, but 10 steps backward, because whenever we try to advance the cause, the political class in Yoruba land creates problems to stall, to stagnate our advancement for sovereignty. And you know, when there is crisis, everything, we are in a very reactionary period at the moment. So I cannot say really that we have really advanced the cause as it should be. Noting that our struggle for self-determination, our quest is a process and not an event. We cannot just decree the day that at least that is the day we are going to actualize the Yoruba nation. But at least certain steps have to be taken in terms of what are our short-term, medium, and long-term goals. Those are things that are not clear today, and that has been the clock in our wheel of progress.
Yeah, thank you so much, comrade. There's so much to be highlighted, from your response, and we are going to be taking it, bit by bit. I want to throw this question to Comrade Kulu. I hope you're back. Hello, Comrade. Comrade Kulu. Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay, yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I want to throw this question to you. Now,
yep.
Self-determination, is it a right? Is self-determination a right? Now, I want to be specific now to the Yoruba people. To the Yoruba people. So
it is even older than Nigeria. That right is older than Nigeria. Nigeria was amalgamated in 1914. Okay, and my teacher, philosopher, and Karl Marx and Engels, who taught us revolution. Okay, I've been talking about it since 1840s. Okay, before even they consummated the First International. To the extent that he supported, I'm talking of Karl Marx, the right to self-determination of Poland from Russia Empire since that time. So now the issue is clear. It is one of the rights, and if Lenin didn't accord it its proper place, they wouldn't have been victorious in the 1917 revolution. So it is a right which League of Nations during the time of Lenin, okay, which the um, that was included in the League of Nations rights. And then after the League of Nations became UNO, it is one of the important rights, that is one of the fundamental human rights that was endorsed by the UN after the Second World War, to the extent that in 1948, Israel was settled in the Middle East, okay, and with the right to self-determination, sovereignty guaranteed. It is a right, well supported by Marxists before Lenin, because 1840 was before Lenin was born, by Karl Marx and the First International. Okay, so it was part of League of Nations rights, and it is even that right that was included that enabled people fighting against colonialism, referred to as what empowers them to fight for the independence of their various countries under colonial or imperialist yoke. Thank you.
Thank you,
Hello.
thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Brief response. Now, Comrade Balogun, I want to come back to you. I'm still going to bring out a question from your what you have just explained to us about right to self-determination. But let me quickly go back to Comrade Balogun. One of the
Yep.
problems, like you have just said, that we have is the political class. They seem to be a stumbling block in the advancement, towards this self-determination. Is there anything that you think can be done? Can self-determination be achieved or attained, without the input of the political class? What should the Yoruba people be doing now, to probably ensure that the political class does not really have a stranglehold on, the process, like you have said? Comrade Balogun.
Well, you see, the sole beneficiary of a sovereign state of the Yoruba will be the majority of the Yoruba who are marginalized, who are living as second-class citizens in the pseudo-federal state called Nigeria. The beneficiaries of a sovereign state of the Yoruba will be the Yoruba who do not have hope of a better tomorrow, whose rights were not guaranteed as Nigeria is presently constituted. And the beneficiary of Nigeria as presently constituted were the ruling political elite in Yoruba land. So they will always create problem and crisis to thwart our efforts to actualize a Yoruba nation. An average Yoruba person were made to understand in our educational sensitization and mobilizational effort that a poor Hausa man or an Indigo were not our problem in Nigeria. But those who are lording it over us because they were in league with others who are oppressing their people. And these are the people that are trying to derail the process for us to have freedom and liberty. Our struggle for self-determination and social emancipation as a people started in 1994 with the emergence of Odua youth movement. After the Odua youth movement comes Odua Nationalist Congress led by Pope Adebanjo and co. And later Odua Liberation Movement, I think co-founded by Baba, Liz Baba Omojola, Rotimi Obadofin, and others. Before the emergence of groups like Yoruba Revolutionary Movement, Federation of Yoruba Consciousness and Culture. And our goal has always been that Yorubas should be allowed to govern themselves. Initially, our strategy is to restructure the Nigerian state, but the beneficiary, the major beneficiary of Nigeria as presently constituted were the Hausa Fulani aristocracy. And they were the ones, the elite in Yoruba land were collaborating with. That is why, ordinarily, if we have a Yoruba state today, it is not possible for them to loot our treasury with reckless abandon. If you look at the political dynasty governing Yoruba land today, they rolled on the sons of Awolowo. They claimed to be Yahwist. They at a time, even Mr. President presently, when he was to contest, when he was to seek for election in 2003, he used the photo, the pictures of Awolowo and Gandhi in his campaigns, just to convince gullible minds that they were committed to the program's perspectives and principles laid down by Awolowo. But what do you have? Awolowo and the political party led by them, they were governing the Yoruba. Their members are statesmen that we can point out to what they did to advance the cause of the Yoruba. In the past, the likes of Awolowo under Action Group, Unity Party of Nigeria, they realized, because they are men of vision, they realized that education is the bedrock for the social, economic, and political advancement of the Yorubas. That is why they make education compulsory from Krichi to the tertiary level. But the political actors today, what do? They kill the educational system in Yoruba land. They have turned education is no longer a privilege in Yoruba land, but a right. This they did in tandem with their brothers, their looting colleagues from other different educationalities in Nigeria, because they knew an uneducated and illiterate mind will be easy to manipulate and govern. In the past, you can be rest assured that healthcare delivery are accessible and available to the Yorubas. These are the things the Yorubas were lacking. And that is why when we sold the agenda for self-determination and social emancipation to an average Yoruba person, they keyed into it. But those people that have weaponized poverty are thwarting that fundamental process and effort, so that they will keep our people in perpetual bondage. I'm convinced that ordinarily, if election was to be in Yoruba land, there's every possibility that, in fact, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu probably may not have been the president of Yoruba, of an independent Yoruba state, because he did not enjoy mass followership as it was in the past. People have seen through their shenanigans.
We seem to be having a network issue. Comrade.
Hello?
It is a
Okay. Go ahead. It's back.
Hello?
Everything
No, it's back. His network was bad, but it's back now. Go ahead.
I don't know if you can hear me. But
yeah, your network was bad for a while, but you're okay now.
Their Yoruba brothers, they were collaborating to hold us down. Between 1953 and 1964, there is fundamental progress and development in how the Yoruba were governed. But since the first military coup, that Nigeria now became a unitarian state under a federal union, the progress and development of Yorubas has not only been stagnated, it has been reversed, it has retrogressed. And that is what we can achieve through a sovereign state of the Yorubas. And no matter the bullying and the threats, the shenanigans, the hypocrisy of those who are benefiting from the present ruinous rotten system, we shall achieve the self-determination and social emancipation of the Yorubas.
Thank you, colleague. Comrade. You got me emotional. Talking about the weaponization of education, because this is what I have always, talked about. It is one of the weapons, or there are two major weapons that the political class have used, to hold the people. That's the people I am concerned about. My people, that's the Yoruba people. And these two major weapons are education and food. They have used these weapons to hold the people down for so long. And it's my heart bleeds. My heart bleeds. Like you rightly said, in the last 30 to 40 years, in terms of education, what can we say that we have been able to achieve? Especially since the military made their devilish incursion into the political atmosphere. And again, when the political class took over, what can we say that they have been able to achieve in terms of educating the people, and of course in terms of feeding the people? And like I said, these are two major weapons that the political class have used to hold down the people. It saddens my heart that the Yoruba people, someone sent a picture to me a couple of days ago or weeks ago. The picture we had the first Ijebu men who had education. Maybe in the next program I'm going to look for that picture and try to post it here. I'm talking of the 1800s. They had a picture, Ijebu people who were educated. And the question is, if in the 1800s the Yoruba people have been that educated, what is happening to us now? It's sad. It is sad. There's so much for us to discuss, and as we progress, we are going to be looking at them one after the other. Now, I want to, unfortunately, I think we lost Comrade Kulu Temper. However, I'm going to throw that question to you. Now, the United Nations, according to Comrade Kulu, endorses right to self-determination. And if that is true, why is it difficult for the so-called United Nations to acknowledge the yearnings and aspirations of the Yoruba self-determination today?
You see, on our part, the cause of Yoruba, it has been the question of merry-go-rounding. We are just going around and round and round and round and round. It has been the question of all motions without movement. If not, what we are discussing today will not be relevant. And if you look at the UN, yes, the UN recognized people's rights, fundamental right to self-determination, but they will not enforce it because you know what fella called the United Nations, uh, beast of no nations. They knew what we are suffering, but who are those ones? The people controlling the UN. Our oppressors were the one controlling the UN. They knew that if our wish, our desire, our genuine aspirations were realized tomorrow, it is hard to ride roughshod on the Yoruba. Like now, they can plunder and prefer our material resources. It is very easy for them to cajole our people, for us to dapper because of the problem they have created through the rulers of Nigeria. The youth have no hope in Nigeria as presently constituted. And that is why, when they realize their hopeless situations, the manpower that we have, they were running abroad for greener pastures. The states, Europe, the Americans that were running to, were benefiting from those who could have ordinarily contributed their mental and physical development to the advancement of our people. So the UN, who largely is being controlled by the Security Council. If you look at the Berlin Conference of 1884-1885, where the European powers decided to balkanize Africa among themselves, we were not there given chance to have a say. They partitioned Africa, they divided themselves. It is only Russia that do not colonize any part of Africa. It was later, because of the independence struggle and experience of the United States of American people, that they supported the struggle to end colonialism. But as colonialism ended, the colonial power still held firmly to their former colonies. What they give us in Africa is flag, or what we call political independence, whereas they still controlled our economy through their process, who are governing and lording over us. So you cannot expect a member of the Security Council that can veto our right to self-determination in a state, a developed and advanced country like Great Britain, like France, and like the US, who are controlling, who are the imperialist power, to now allow Yorubas to have the sovereign state, when they knew that they coupled us together to retard our progress and advancement as a people. They will not allow us to go. And in fact, it is illusory for us to think that the European powers or the US and France will support our right to self-determination. So, in a way, the United Nations is very weak to accede to the genuine demands and aspirations of the Yoruba for self-determination, because Nigeria still remain a business enterprise of Britain. Many parts of Africa still remain a business enterprise of France, and these are the countries that call the shots in the UN. So the UN is sort of in name they can do everything, but in a way they cannot do everything without the direct support of China, France, Britain, the US, and Russia. And imperial power majority today were three who are lording it over Nigeria, who are controlling our economy. It is the imperialist power of Britain, France, the US, and their collaborators that imposed neoliberal economic policies that our government were implementing. And these programs were anti-people. It is to keep Nigeria and our people in abject penury, so that we will not have there is something to say no, or to fight and struggle to end the union state that we found ourselves. And that is why you look at the example of what led to the emergence of Yoruba self-determination groups. When Babangida annulled June 12 election, and Yoruba were saying that no way, that the annulment cannot stand, that the mandate of Abiola should be validated. So these imperialist powers, in collaboration with the military and civilian wing of Nigerian ruling class, that decided to kill both Abiola and Abacha, so that a revolution would not triumph in Nigeria. They knew that if peradventure Nigeria and one power for the imperialist power to dictate what
Comrade, excuse, sorry, do you have two devices? Do you have two? Okay.
And to advertise our public utilities. The one that asked our government to remove subsidy on things that were beneficial to the majority of Nigeria. And that is why we are where we are. So in essence, I'm saying that we cannot and we should not have a hopeless hope. The UN, as presently constituted, we are set to our demand, to our yearnings and aspiration for us to have an independent state of the Yoruba. It is reasonable for us.
The time is 21 o'clock.
Oh, comrade, I think you have two devices. You have two devices. Sorry to cut you. I think Comrade Kulu has two devices. One is, that's why he's hauling back. Okay, go on.
So it is very clear who plays the piper with platoon. There are some people, there are some countries in the world that control the UN, and these are countries that were against the self-determination and social emancipation of the Yoruba. So they are the part of the club in our wheel of progress.
Thank you.
So, but it should not discourage us from continuous agitation for a sovereign state.
I am going to thank you so much for that elaboration. But I'm going to throw the same question to Comrade Kulu. Comrade, I hope you are with us. Hello,
Okay.
hello, Comrade. Are you with us?
Are you with us? Hello?
You seem to have two
You seem to
devices.
have to have two devices. Hello?
Comrade, you have two devices. I can hear you.
Hello? Hello?
I can hear you. Can you take out one of the or mute? You have two devices. It's howling back at us. It's howling back at us. You have two devices.
Hello? It's howling back at us.
Hello, I can hear you now. Hello, comrade. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Okay, comrade, can you? Hello, can you hear now? Yeah, I think I can hear you. Can you hear us now? Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay. Yes. I'm going to throw a question to you. Comrade Balogun has
Yeah.
been trying to. I say I'm going
Okay,
to
okay.
throw a
Can you hear
question
me now?
to you now. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
in your earlier statement, you talked about
Yep.
the United Nations endorsing right to self-determination. And I just throw the question to
Yeah.
Comrade Balogun. I said, now,
Mhm.
why is it difficult for us as Yoruba people going through that route? Why is it difficult for the United Nations to support our genuine agitation, for self-determination? Why?
I believe everybody can hear what I want to say.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello. Yep.
Yes, we can hear you.
Um. Uh, um. You're right. Even internally, the fundamental rights in the 1999 Constitution, people have to fight for their right. That is one. Two. Um. Let me say that when the Yoruba nation agitation got to the UN, what they praised Professor Emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye for was the peaceful way which it started. And that was why they placed that of Yoruba nation before the iPod people, that they were violent and all that. Okay. And that means it was not anarchistic. Okay.
Right.
Now, but along the line, a young provocateur entered and then derailed that movement. Okay. But the real thing is this: whether we like it or not, for us, whether you call it restructuring, whether you call it right to self-determination of Odua Republic or whatever, okay, it has to be fought for. We have to stage a revolution, has to be consummated for us to realize the right to self-determination
Hmm.
or the or a, an Odua Republic or whatever. What
Hello, your network seem to have.
The middle class
Okay.
people, you know, being able to support uh, the revolution, okay, the the working class being unable to continue in the old way, okay, and then uh, and then uh, uh, and then the ruling class. In fact, I want to say there's nothing like political class. There's nothing like that scientifically. We better refer to them as the ruling class, or in the case of Nigeria, ruining class. Okay. Uh, it is the ruling class when they see the threat of revolution, they quickly unite. You could see that all the presidential candidates, okay, minus Konkoso, were one in attacking the interests of the grassroots masses. Okay, they all wanted all subsidy removed. They all wanted privatization and all that. Okay, so at the end of the day, uh, when the threat of revolution, and even if you go back to 2012, 8 months after that election, and even during that election, General Buhari the youths in the north and many southerners who were doing youth corps and who worked for INEC were killed, including one person from Gbangan in Osun State. And Governor Aregbe had to arrange uh, a charter plane to bring them back to the south. Yeah. Uh, in the first instance, okay, I think we have discussed early today, and I said without us staging a revolution and a victorious one, we cannot attain the right to self-determination. Okay, we cannot solve the national question. Okay, so
Hmm.
uh, now, and what do we prefer? If you look at the nearness we went in January 2012, okay, that
Yeah.
was revolution in consciousness. When the consciousness of Nigerian masses, 40 million of them were on the streets, which Owe Empire chronicled as parliament of the street.
Hmm.
The consciousness of the masses 8 months after it was rigged in or whatever they did, okay, the the consciousness of Nigerian masses changed against him when he removed when he increased the price of fuel from 90 something to 147. Before that, revolution in consciousness forced him to go back to 97. Oh, from 65, not 97, 65 to 97. That was what comrade, late comrade President Yaradua, okay, forced it back to when Obasanjo increased to 75 from 65. So when he got there in 2007, he returned it back to 65. So that is the crux of the matter. We
Comrade, your network seems to have gone again. Hello. Hello, comrade. Hello. You seem to have lost a network. Okay. Comrade Balogun, I think we lost Comrade Kulu. So I'm going to pose this question to you as we try to coast home on this first edition. I want you to briefly talk about the recent scenario in Ibadan, where a group belonging to the Ominira, where I mean, went to the government house, to stage whatever it's called. I want you to quickly talk about that.
Well,
you are muted. Okay.
I think what happens in Ibadan, I think on the 13th of this month, is an unfortunate development. It is unfortunate because it is not a step that could advance our cause. In fact, it's those who attacked that secretariat, they were misled as far as I'm concerned. They were misguided. And if you now look at it, that it's a step of an adjoint provocateur. Another unfortunate development is the immediate attack and condemnation of that act by Professor Akintoye and Sunday Igboho. And in fact, it's unfortunate that some of their supporters were calling for the arrest and prosecution of Onitin. In Yoruba, one of many guru kapipeku pane Yoruba man. But in this case, how many to do saying that at least that the lion has the right to devour their child.
You are losing network.
It cannot lead to the actualization of Odua Republic or Yoruba nation. The step is counterproductive, and it has given the state actors who are our enemy, the enemies of our struggles, the enemies of our cause, to now start bullying and threatening that anybody who is agitating for self-determination group, for self-determination, may be declared as enemy of state. Whereas our right to self-determination is guaranteed under the UN Charter. It is guaranteed by African Charter on both sides. And Nigeria is a signatory to the two instruments. But when the unfortunate development of how can you want to fight the Nigerian state, and you now went to you want to declare Odua Republic, and you now went to the political headquarters of the Yoruba at Ibadan to attack the secretariat, how will that advance our cause? It's counterproductive. Those people who did it are misguided, and people should not deny them because of their failure. We should tell them what they did is strong. It is not the question of vilifying them, to the question of saying that, okay, they should be dealt with severely, as if we are not part of the process. And
So, comrade, I'm going to play the devil's advocate here now. Those who came out to deny, the likes of Professor Akintoye and
I'm saying
I think Sunday Go.
that them.
Hello, yeah, as I think the reason why the reason why they did that.
Come out and be saying what everything they were saying.
Yeah, I am not speaking for them. I'm just trying to what people are saying, that the reason why they came out to do that is because they do not want the real struggle to be labeled, and that is why they have come out to I'm just trying to play. I mean, you understand?
That argument,
So it's an argument from
that argument is lame and does not hold water. It's a very lame excuse. Yoruba said, "Kí ọmọdé bá dáràn náà ṣe ń sọ lórúkọ, orúkọ ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ náà ṣe ń sọ wọ́n lórúkọ." A singer even sing about it. So that Yoruba were very conscious of that fact. That should, in case anybody commit a crime, that is why we're giving different names. And in this situation, somebody committed a crime. They were Taye and Kehinde, they were twins, Siamese twins, identical twins. Immediately, Taye committed a crime. The state that Taye committed the crime against was looking at what is happening? What is this madness? A Kehinde now come into the open to castigate, to vilify, and condemn, and call for the prosecution of.
But comrade, in this case, do you call the two of them now, Taye and Kehinde, knowing fully well that the direction to which maybe Taye or Kehinde is going is quite different from the direction of the other? Do you think Taye should come out to probably own up or try to cover the actions of the other?
It is injustice.
I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate here.
It is injustice when justice is it is injustice when justice is misapplied. So a Kehinde cannot answer for the crime of a Taye. I will continue to reiterate it. Their condemnation of the original group is hasty. It's hasty. One can agree with Afenifere that Afenifere, they were moderating because they are part of the political class from the onset. And we're not saying that they want to achieve the self-determination of Yoruba. What they have been pushing for is regional autonomy.
Autonomy, right?
At least the Yorubas should have control over their region politically under a genuine federal structure. That is camouflage. But the other group, maybe Papa Akintoye, Sunday Igboho, Oritiri, what they will be clamoring for is Yoruba to severe relationship from Yoruba, from Nigeria as present constituted, because as present constituted is a clog in the wheel of progress of the Yoruba. That's what they have been saying.
Okay, now, comrade, what do you think that? Sorry to cut you now. We are going to be ending soon. What do you think that Yoruba leaders of thought, Yoruba elders? Honestly, I don't really want to bring in the political class. I don't want to bring them in. What do you think they should be doing now?
The same Yoruba people now that are ready to hand over their own children to the wolf to devour. Is that what we're saying? These are contradictions. In fact, in any struggle of the people, I've never heard of a situation whereby a group that is fighting the same cause will now call on the state to clamp down on a group, another group, whose goal is to achieve the same aim, the same strategic goal. Tactics may differ. I'm not supportive of the attack on Ibadan Secretariat, and I think it's a suicidal mission. Those people that carried out the attack, they were misled. They channeled their anger through a very, very wrong medium. But I still want to believe that as the father of all, Baba and his group should not have come out to say what they are saying, even before the state made a pronouncement no about that act. At least the state have been dealing with the unity now. At least I read through the papers that she has been declared wanted, and the house where she made that declaration has been demolished.
Demolished, right?
So
well,
it's a lesson for all of us. It's a lesson for all of us. It's a lesson for all of us that leaders of this process have to be educated in what we are doing. That we cannot carry arm against the Nigerian state and expect them to be looking to treat us with kid gloves. We cannot expect the Nigerian state to fold her arms when we attack any of its structure at any level or any of its agencies. We are not strong to that level, and that is not the direction of our struggle. If not, they could have clamped down on us a long time ago. That's why I said even the idea to attack the secretariat is misconceived. It's a misdirected effort. It is counterproductive. It's much more of an action of an adjunct provocateur. You know, that they have become a tool that the state will now use to clamp down on all others. But that is not to say that you be the one to now say, okay, go and behead them. No. The state knows what is to be done. My own call is that the state, those who are arrested, if found guilty, should face the hands of the law. No extrajudicial killing, no maltreatment, according to the world something. They should face the penalty of their actions humanly, because the world is against human torture presently. Not that they should be demonized because they were saying that they want an independent or a sovereign state of the Yoruba. The actions is an excuse for the state to calm down on everybody. But that is not to say that we should be the one that we should tell the state that lead them to the hangman's noose. It is not correct on our part, and on the part of the leadership of the process, that we're now saying that okay, we'll go and arrest this something. We are not the one who accused them of being the mastermind. The state have the intelligence and something, a network now. They knew those who are behind it. They know those people who are behind it, and they have not raised accusation at those people who are making the denial and unjust verification. That's my position.
Well, comrade, it's been an interesting start. Thank you for your contribution. It's been interesting and rewarding. And I know that as we go from here, people are going to be more informed, more educated, and like you said, it is a process. The liberation struggle is a process, and
The process,
yes, It is a process.
Those people who have
Uh,
are those one who think they can attack the state and get away with it.
And that is why we have brought this platform on to continue to engage our people in a robust manner, and hopefully, as we have it in our mission statement, I read that before you came in. We also seek to galvanize Yoruba people all around the globe, regardless of your status, regardless of your age, regardless of your political, religious affiliation. This is what we seek to do, because one of the things that we have noticed is that some people have decided to hold back, to draw back. Majority of these people are in those we call the elites. And that is why we have also said that this platform is a platform that is going to galvanize everybody together. And one thing that we have also failed to do today, and as from the next episode, Amama So Yoruba, because if we seek to bring together everybody, all Yoruba people, àti the educated ones, the grassroots people, and láti sọ èdè wa, èdè abínibí wa, èdè Yorùbá, tí everybody tó gbọ́. I apologize for that today. As from next week, we are going to be, mixing both English and Yoruba together, méjìlá máa sọ, so that we can carry àwọn èèyàn wa along, our people in the grassroots. We can carry them along. We are also going to be carrying along Yoruba youths, those either in the homeland or in the diaspora who are elitists. Many of them do not seem to understand what we are talking about. And next week, by the grace of God, I'm going to post a statement that directly affects the youths, which was made by Sir Ahmadu Bello shortly after our independence, the independence of Nigeria in 1960, which has to do with the future of our people. And who are our future? They are our youths, And so on this note, I will want to end it. But before I go, Comrade, do you have any parting word for today in a few seconds?
Thank you. My pleasure being there. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your being here with us today. God bless you. By the grace of God, we are going to be here again next week as we continue to engage our people in a robust manner. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.